Hello, welcome everyone to the Packaged Weekly Retro for the 20th of March, 2020. Tim, you're leading off with what went not so well.
Yeah, so I traveled from New York to LA, and I thought I was going to be able to be productive on the plane. Was not so I was a little bit less productive than I would have liked this week. And there were several things that I wanted to get to, and I haven't yet, but there's still time. There's still 6 hours left on Friday or so hopefully we can get it done. On to Ian.
This week, we got hit kind of hard with a slowdown in user research. With everything going on in the world right now, participants are kind of hard to find. I would imagine they're busy and have higher priorities right now. One of the sad things is that it probably means that the maturity scorecard research we had slotted for 12/10 won't make it for the OKR. That's a little disappointing. Over to Nick.
Yeah, so for me, I lost an entire afternoon, I think it was on Wednesday, trying to debug an RSpec test that would not pass under, it was a shared test and it would work when run from the projects, but it wouldn't work when run from groups. And it took me the entire afternoon to figure out why, like what the difference was there and why it wouldn't do that. And it was just silly things, but very, very frustrating. So yeah, on to David.
Yeah, kind of same feeling. This week, I felt that I used so much time in just three things: the raise performance training, backend reviews, and just trying to make a proper fix for the Gradle bug. So no Mezzopera this week, and this is sad. And over to João.
So this was also a low week in terms of merged MRs for me as well. I spent a good amount of time planning and discussing and working for the 12/10 issues. So probably next week will be much more interesting. On to Hayley.
Yeah, so I had a lot of little, like, smaller issues that needed attention somewhat quickly with quicker turnaround, but I didn't carve out enough time for like discussion and planning for things that I need to really sit down and think through. So I didn't handle that optimally, and COVID-19 is stressing me out, as it turns out. On to Dan.
Yeah. Just for everyone following along at home, I had a bit of a rant before this started because I couldn't get the live stream working, which I always get a bit frustrated by because it's extra steps. I'm gonna reach out to peeps here so I can try to get that sorted out. I'm not generally someone who does a lot of social not distancing. I'm like, generally the stuff I do is pretty like by myself. I tend to be that type of personality. But being forced to not do things is kind of frustrating. I understand why, and I certainly support the reasoning, and it makes sense, but sort of a bit stressed out. Having said that, I may not do the best job of controlling my frustration, so I'd appreciate people just telling me if they see this type of behavior. I certainly appreciate the feedback. The other thing I learned this past week that wasn't so good was that if you use the quick command in an issue /merge, or it bypasses merge trains, which is bad because it slows down all of the merge. So /merge does not account for merge trains. If you're in a lot of our, I think in our GitLab repo, that's not a problem. But if you're in the handbook repo, the www GitLab repo, you don't use the /merge command. I learned that by having someone send me a message saying that I'm skipping all the merge trains. So I thought I would share. Sort of embarrassing. Anyway, over to you, Nico.
Yeah, so this quarantine and social distancing is impacting my life too. You will think that like working remotely, this will impact you, but I'm still not able to go to the gym, and every time I'm out with the dog, it's like feels the pressure to stay far from people, stay far from elderly. And plus, back at home, the infection reached my own town, and then there are first casualties and several cases of infected people, and this raises a bit the anxiety bar on our day-to-day life. So the group level container registry officially sleep 12.9. I received the email at like ding, 12:10. I knew that this would happen, but still it doesn't make me happy. And also I'm working still on some of the just-to-do stuff, and sometimes I stumble on code that it makes me want to like shift backspace and rewrite it all. That's not possible. This goes outside of the scope of the issue. So. And what went well for team?
Great. Well, the group container registry looks great though. I tested it yesterday, so it is available on .com, so that's nice. Sorry, I'm very optimistic today, in case anyone hasn't noticed. I made it from New York to California without any major, everyone was really respectful of everyone in the airport and keeping their space. There was a few people in full like hazmat suits with gas masks and things like that, but mostly it was okay. I started working with Ian and Dan on the next set of maturity targets for the package registry, and I'll do the same for the container registry and dependency proxy today and early next week. And I'm probably late to the party on this, but I only experienced Nico's container factory code earlier this week, and it was really helpful in creating demos, and it was really easy to use. So thanks, Nico, for creating that. On to Ian.
One of the cool things that happens because research slowed down is I get extra time to work on actual designy things, which I haven't been able to do for a while. So kind of like how Tim mentioned, I'm going to jump into the dependency proxy and remote repositories and virtual repositories, all kinds of cool stuff, and actually create some comps. So I'm really excited for that. And I pinned down some guest speakers for our next Think Big. This is a trial to see if it can help us do some cross-stage collaboration. We'll have Nicole and Kyle from Secure come in and talk about ways we could show that in our UI and ways we could partner with them for security. So I'm really excited to try that out. Over to Nick.
Yeah, so for me, the new package list with the package registry tabs has been merged. So the enablement, sorry, of that has been merged. So that should be available on .com soon, and hopefully our users will see that that's a really cool feature. And yeah, so far 12.10 front end issues are off to a good start. I feel that they're all gonna like be relatively straightforward, and there should be some nice improvements coming with those as well. On to Gigi next.
I'm pretty happy with the progress I've done with the PyPI stuff this week. I got like a prototype working, and the upload part is almost done, and we got the workhorse stuff sorted out. Thanks, Dan, for that. So everything seems pretty good on that front. I'm very optimistic. And also thanks, David, for the foundation work on NuGet. I think you saved me at least a week of work with all the copy and paste that I've done. And that was pretty awesome. And also last week I've done some investigation and specification for the composer, which got some good feedback. We're still discussing an issue on the upload part, but I'm very happy with the progress so far as well. And I'm hoping that the discussion is gonna settle very soon, and then we can shift to a different phase, implementation, whatever. David, you up?
Yes, so this week I looked for how to spin up custom GitLab instances, since I have two fixes regarding package uploads that are not in the configuration of gitlab.com. So I need to be able to set up a custom configuration, and it turns out that you can do that. For those interested, there is a link. And over to João.
So the tech cleanup service improvements are looking good. The expectation is that it's going to be up to 70 times faster, which is great because we need to take a lot of pressure from the infrastructure once we apply the tag expiration policy to all projects. So that should help a lot. And then the registry database implementation has finally started, which is great. On to Hayley.
So even though we didn't get a lot of MRs this week, I feel like the planning and discussion is really going to be impactful and make this next week pretty productive. Let's see. And we, and part of that, we discovered that about half of the upstream commits that are present in upstream master Docker registry and not on our fork yet are completely trivial to merge in. So that is great. It takes a lot of pressure off our shoulders to get caught up in that way. I've also found that there's like Gmail has a button now, or maybe it always did, that you can add an email to tasks, and I have been using that like crazy this week, and I think it's been really helpful. I feel like a lot more organized. And I made a little MR that kind of reduces the contention between various linters and our code climate stuff, and it's just really nice that every MR doesn't have like 50 degradations, 50 improvements when you like bump some version number or something completely unrelated. So not having that noise has been way more pleasant than I thought it would be. On to Dan. That
sounds better for sure. Yeah, this week pretty productive. I felt like I got milestones. The milestone is done, release posts are done, planning document done that I was working on. And I also managed to find some distilled water for my espresso machine finally, which has definitely lowered my stress level. And just for anyone following along at home, I actually have little packages of minerals that I add to the water. So I'm not using distilled water in my espresso machine because it's not permitted. Yeah, just to be clear. Not permitted, it just tastes bad. It's not good for your machine either. Anyway, carry on. And then created a workhorse MR for PyPI support, which is now in maintainer review, which is pretty cool. It's nice to feel like I'm doing the coding thing from time to time and being helpful. I should have communicated a little better with Gigi on that, but I think it's a net win there that we're getting through that. Over to Nico.
Yeah, so as Tim said, the group level container registry is enabled for everyone on .com and nothing exploded. Actually, there is a user saying that he is happy and to have it. So we have a new front-end maintainer and a new trainee proposed for maintainership as well. So more maintainers, that's very good. And then Nick Tal tool is a staple of my day-to-day workflow. I'm super happy to use it. And if you are not using it, you should really use it. And I think that was the last.
That tool that Nick, you wrote is, I know, like you're not on camera while someone else is talking because we're not live streaming. So you don't have to feel like this is visible, your reaction is visible, but it's like super helpful. Definitely if anyone is like, because we do our async updates and the issues, is awesome. Saves a heap of time, works really well. If you're not using it, please check it out. I'm not going to tell anyone they have to use it. It's not really my style, but go check it out because it's super, super helpful. Even in the limited time I need to use issue updates, it's amazing. So yeah, great work. I think that's it, all we have on our agenda. Does anyone want to discuss anything, or are we good to stop recording now?
I have one thing which was no good nor bad. The user that commented about the group level container registry on the issue, he says that he doesn't see any image on his root group level, which is a bit weird. So we probably may want to follow up with him. Or I don't know, it's a strange situation. I can't replicate, nor access his group.
Cool. Do you want to share that issue in the channel so we can all take a look at it?
I'll put it down.
Sweet. Thank you. Also, I added an indifferent section for you in the document, Nico, so you could add that there. That'd be great. It didn't sound like a good thing either, but that's just maybe my opinion. All right, I'm going to stop recording, and if people want to hang around, that'd be awesome. If you don't, it's totally fine too. So thanks everyone for following along at home. I hope everyone is staying healthy as possible, and I hope people enjoy the rest of their day, and whatever that looks like to you. So wave us out, peeps. Bye.